Guys, what's going on? James here, and I think this is the last head coaching video I have to make right now. I'm not sure, at least not until there's any more hirings, but in today's video we're going to be talking about the Bengals have officially announced that they and head coach Marvin Lewis have mutually decided to part ways after 16 seasons. This is huge. This is 100% huge for Cincinnati Bengals fans. Marvin Lewis has been on this team a long time, and I know Bengals fans have been just like, ugh, for years upon years, they've been like, oh, come on, when are we gonna finally get rid of Marvin Lewis? I never thought I'd see the day. I honestly thought I thought that I would see him retire before I saw them part ways, basically fire him. But it's finally happened. Marvin Lewis is out, and there's gonna be a new head coach in Cincinnati for the first time in over a decade. That's crazy to me. That's really cool. Who's that head coach going to be? What's going to happen with Marvin Lewis? We're going to be talking about all of that right now. To start with Marvin Lewis, what's going to happen with him? I don't necessarily think he's going to return to coaching. I think he's either going to A, retire from coaching and fall more back into a TV type role, maybe become an analyst, something along those lines of what Tony Dungy's been able to do, or B, he might work into a front office role, kind of what Gary Kubiak's been able to do. Maybe he'll become a general manager for a team. Maybe he'll become a talent relations type guy, whatever you want to call it. I feel like he'll either go to a front office role or he'll go to a TV analyst role. That's my prediction for Marvin Lewis. Moving on to the Cincinnati Bengals, and geez, wow, this is honestly surprising. I never thought I'd be able to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals having a new head coach. What do you even expect in a new Bengals head coach? Well, I think the big thing here is that the owner of the Cincinnati Bengals, Mr. Brown, I believe his name is, he's very loyal to people, that he gives his trust to. He's very loyal. One of those people being Hugh Jackson, a couple of people inside the Bengals organization, he's very loyal to, and he trusts them a lot, which leads me to believe that, I don't know if the Bengals are going to look for outside sources for bringing in a new head coach. If I had to guess who the new head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals would have to be, I might say Hugh Jackson. Who knows? Maybe Hugh Jackson, but also maybe not. If I had to name some outside options, Adam Gase is one of the first ones that comes to my mind. Majority of the teams that have a head coaching option have already reached out to Adam Gase, gauging his interest in their head coaching opportunities, so I feel he's a really big option. You also got to factor in some other guys on other teams. Brian Flores, defensive coordinator of the New England Patriots, he could be a very big option as well. Mike Munchak, I believe he's the offensive lineman coach for either the Tennessee Titans or the Pittsburgh Steelers. He might get a good look as well. There's a lot of outside options. Vic Fangio, Chris Richard, both those guys deserve to be head coaches. And on the defensive side of the ball, things are looking really good. You have Geno Atkins, Vontaze Burfict. You have a really nice safety core with guys like Eddie Bates. You have a really nice cornerback situation as well. And then you have a really nice defensive line with Carl Lawson, Geno Atkins, like I said. This Bengals defense is really good. I think they're in the top half of the league. And on the offensive side of the ball, you have a lot of things going for you as well. Joe Mixon, Giovanni Bernard, A.J. Green, Tyler Boyd, Tyler Eifert, a decent offensive line. The quarterback position, again, it's kind of like in a similar situation in the Miami Dolphins, except Andy Dalton doesn't get injured a whole lot. He does get dinged up, but not as bad as Tannehill. So you do have some questions at the quarterback position. But still, this is pretty much a playoff team. I think they could arguably, they could battle for a wild card spot. You just have to bring in the right guy to revitalize and to re-energize and kind of retool this Cincinnati Bengals team. I don't think they're far away under any circumstances. They just have to bring in the right guy. They could bring in an offensive guy, Adam Gase, like I said. Todd Monken's another guy for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, my team. He's really good. I think he's already supposedly going to be interviewing with the New York Jets, which will be interesting. He could be a really nice option. He's done some phenomenal things with this passing attack with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this past season. Him, Adam Gase, a couple of offensive guys there. Maybe you could also interview the tight end coach Dan Campbell from the New Orleans Saints. He did some phenomenal things when he was the interim head coach with the Miami Dolphins. it's just really tough to say what kind of coach the Bengals would need. I don't remember what kind of coach Marvin Lewis was, if he was a defensive or offensive type guy. It's been so long now. Who knows? I want to say he was an offensive type guy, but I could be dead wrong. So there was a lot of options out there. Dan Campbell, Todd Monken, Adam Gase. Those are top three offensive type guys in my opinion. Also, Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, you can't count him out at all. And then for the defensive side of the ball, Vic Fangio, and Chris Richard are two of my top guys to get interviews with the Cincinnati Bengals. You can't count out Hugh Jackson. You cannot count out Hugh Jackson. He seems like a really strong guy to be the head coach, which would be interesting, especially with all that business that happened with Cleveland and what happened with Baker Mayfield. I'm sure Cincinnati Bengals fans would love if Hugh Jackson, they might be a little bit skeptical of Hugh Jackson becoming the head coach, but I'm sure they would love it if Hugh Jackson came in and did phenomenal with the Bengals. I think that'd be, a real punch in the gut for the Bengals would be giving to the Cleveland Browns and the Cleveland Browns fan base. But I completely understand if the Bengals do not want Hugh Jackson. I wouldn't want Hugh Jackson. I would probably want a guy like Adam Gase, Todd Monken, or even Bieniemy of the Kansas City Chiefs. Those would be my options for a new Bengals head coach. But Bengals fans, sound off down in the comments section below. What do you guys think about, Marvin Lewis finally being gone? Who do you think is going to replace Marvin Lewis? Do you think it's going to be an offensive guy like the guys I mentioned? Do you think it's going to be a defensive guy like a Vic Fangio, Brian Flores, or even Chris Richard? Or do you think it's going to be Hugh Jackson? Because it could easily be Hugh Jackson, or even somebody in-house with the Cincinnati Bengals. Let me know what you guys think about all that down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bucs fans, don't worry. Still got you covered on all the Bucs news as it is coming out. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, I'll see you in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.